Hi, this is an illustrative example of how to use prompting for LLM-based translations, either via a TMS that would have a GenAI type of translation engine as part of their workflow, or directly with an LLM like what we're going to show here with ChatGPT. The example we're given here is using a Lingoport public Acme prompt repository, and it's using ChatGPT-4. There are only 4 source words, and those source words are the following: coat twice and washer twice. We are using those examples because coat and washer, like many other words, may have multiple meanings, and so the translation may need to have prompting in order for it to be accurate. Let's go back to Localyzer. The first prompt level is on ChatGPT for the connection that we have. Let's go there. Here is the ChatGPT-4 connection. By default, we have a system prompt, meaning every project that uses this connection will at least have this part of the prompt. So let's just make something extremely simple. Translate from a source locale to a target locale. Those 2 variables must be part of the system prompt when you're going to a ChatGPT or a PXML going to a TMS. Let's save. We're back on our project. Let's look again at strings. So again, it was coat and washer. Let's translate without any prompting. Here we go. You can see the process is happening here, and the strings are back. It's now 100% translated, as you can see with the green indicator here. And the target locale, by the way, I only picked up 1 French just for this demonstration. So let's go to the project here, going by overview and going to this Acme on the prompt branch. So let's go to the prompt branch. What was just translated now using the basic thing is the following. You can see that code was translated in the context of a hardware store. The code could be couche. In the context of a hardware store, code could be this. So what you're seeing here in the first pass is that it's hesitating between different translations, but it's not a translation. It's more of a thinking about the translation. So let's go back to Command Center and let's change again the prompt for the ChatGPT prompt. And let's edit the ChatGPT system prompt. Here we go. I'm going to go back to the default setting that it should be. Here we are. Let's save this. You'll notice that here, in terms of special consideration for UI, is brevity, clarity, consistency, action-oriented, return only the translated text, no explanation. That's kind of crucial, actually. Let's go back to the project, and let's resend the string to be translated with the new prompt here. Here we go. This will send all the files that are part of this onboarded project to the locale that I clicked on, so to French here. And let's check what the French now looks like. So locales, it was just retranslated now on packet number 2. Let's have a look at the French file. First of all, you see that now there is a translation. So with a word as short as coat or washer, we don't have very much in terms of context. You notice that here we really would like to have a coat of paint, which is couche, but this one is something to put on your back, which is manteau in French, not couche. So on this one, washer, we would like it to be a washing machine, and here it's a washer that goes with a nut and a bolt. So again, this is not quite what we want, so we need more prompt. Let's go back to Command Center. And now there are 2 things that we can do. In terms of the prompt for this project, maybe we're going against a hardware store, or maybe it's a retail store or something more specific. The prompt here was a hardware store. Now let's add an additional layer here, which is for each one of the strings, we are going to add a contextual image. This can be done in 4 different ways. Here it's just going to click on the add an image, this button, and to assign it to the string. So let's add some images here. Let's add another image for this one. So let's quickly check for each one of them that we have the images that we want. Coat of paint, a coat to put on, a washing machine, and a washer for a nut and bolt. Now let's send this to translation again. So in Localyzer, we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to resend everything to be translated into French. The translation is back. And now let's have a look at the message.properties again in French. It was just translated now for prep kit number 3. Let's open it up. The coat of paint is couche, which is correct. What you put on is un manteau, which is correct. A washing machine is a lave-linge, and a nut washer is une rondelle. This shows how prompting can work together well with an LLM to have a more accurate translation and have an overall prompt to indicate how to do things for brevity, clarity, and have no explanation and so on to get only a translation. And then you can narrow the translation to the one that you want, especially with context, like in Command Center with the images that we have associated with the strings. That's it for this demo. Thank you very much.